What's up, Ida Gang? Welcome into Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm your host here, Fari. As a part of today's video, we're diving into Project Catalyst here, and we're going to be talking about a Web3 and AI integration platform, which essentially allows for you to build out your own custom strategies to figure out or to do exactly whatever you might need to do within the Cardano ecosystem. As a part of today's video, I'm going to be sitting down with Ivan, who's the head of K3 Labs. Without any further ado, Ivan, welcome up, my friend. How are you?
Hi. Thanks for having me. Happy to join and explain more and show what we've built so far.
Yes, sir. So before we kick things off, would love to hear a little bit about who you are, your background, and then we're going to talk about K3.
Yeah. So my role at K3 is actually a CTO, and I'm the co-founder as well, together with my co-founder William. We co-founded the company 2 years ago. We spent about a year to build it out, and we've been live about 6 months so far. A bit more about myself is I've been in crypto for close to 10 years now, since Bitcoin was the only coin on the coin market cap. Coin market cap didn't even exist. Um, so I've learned a lot during those times and trying to solve still one of those painful problems that we have, and that's the UI, UX, and the usage of crypto and how you actually bring crypto and blockchain interactions closer to regular people. And yeah, this is why we kind of built K3 and wanted to make everybody's lives easier.
Perfect. And so looking at the official K3 website, it
Mhm.
states here where AI essentially meets strategies and customizability, right? So
Yeah.
for anyone who's hearing about K3 for the first time, what exactly are you guys bringing to the market? What problem are you guys solving?
Yeah. So we are allowing people to build agents that can do difficult and complex tasks for you by just allowing you to use a drag and drop workflow builder. And then you can package that into an agent. It can also be powered by AI, but it can also be a self-sustaining agent. And then you can run private agents, which are kind of your own executions, or you can also place it in a public marketplace so that anybody else can use it. So it kind of solves two problems for you internally if you want to run a specific use case that you have for your company, but also if you're a part of an ecosystem or part of a chain like Cardano and you want to build agents specific for that ecosystem, then as an experienced user of those DeFi protocols, you can build those specific agents and spread them around and show them to the community, and through that also kind of increase the adoption of that ecosystem.
Now, before we dive into the demo, which you sort of prepared for us, which I thought was extremely interesting, would love to hear, how have other networks or crypto users used your platform? And then also, which blockchains have you guys already integrated with before we shift into the Cardano specific conversation?
Mhm. So if I just briefly go to our platform right away, I can show you on of a full list here. So we obviously the easiest way is to integrate. I'll switch over here. Obviously, the easiest way to go forward is to use EVM-based blockchains. So we started with all the popular ones like Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche, Base, and so on. But what we are also trying to focus on is exactly that pain point that I said is for chains that are less accessible and less easier to use. I would even count Cardano as one of those blockchains, and for those we allow abstractions and wrappers around them to be developed in a form of a component or an action that can be dragged in. Like for example, we have trading that's specific for example, Hyperliquid is on Arbitrum. So in order to abstract this entire complexity of onboarding users through different layer twos and create an account, we can abstract the entire action into one click. and one click and one drag and drop on our platform. So we're kind of now expanding more into the ecosystems, like I said, uh, which are less EVM based. And there we support Stellar, for example, and we also have Stability Protocol, which is interesting one. It's a gasless chain. Um, but yeah, looking forward to dive deeper on Cardano's ecosystem and to actually show you also the ideas that we have around there.
Perfect. So before we talk about your actual proposal,
Yeah.
could you, break down what are we actually seeing here? Could you maybe walk through creating, some
Yes.
sort of very simplified workflow?
Like I said, you can use one of the existing agents already that exist on the platform, and you can do that by simply selecting one, and you can just click here use and fill out all the required fields, and then you can click deploy. And that's kind of the easiest way to approach this if you already find what you're looking for here. For example, in this case, I opened Restaking Risk Monitor. I haven't even seen this one before. So as you can see, people are creating agents on a daily basis. This one looks like it's using AI to assess risk on demand based on the data that the graph has fetched. But in order for you to build your own, you would go to a design. Um, to the design section, and there you can start building. And before doing that, I want to emphasize that the platform is free. It's free for you, for everybody to join, to sign up, to try it out, to try to break it. And we're open always to get some constructive feedback and to improve our product. So feel free to sign up and join. So from there, I'll say that everything starts with a trigger with us, and the trigger can be on demand. It can be scheduled, so it can have a schedule and start a execution every few hours or minutes or days. It can be smart contract based, so if you have a contract address, for example, if I take the Aave smart contract in this case, it would populate, it's on mainnet, it would immediately populate all the methods, all the events that are available for listening. So, for example, if I wanted to listen to the Mint events, I can kick off the execution like that. Um, from there, you can just drag and drop all the other components. So, for example, you can interact with an API, fetch data through there. You can also interact with the blockchain directly through reading the blockchain. So if I use, again, the same smart contract, in this case, I will get all the methods that I can use. So for example, here, I can read the following method and get some more data out of it. And then more interesting one is smart contract write. So in this case, you spend gas. So in this case, you have to use our inbuilt wallet, MCP wallet called Cubist, or you can bring your own wallet and set it up. For example, if I went with this one and I placed the address again here, I would get all the write methods, so I can execute mint to treasury, for example. I assume I cannot do this one. There's security issues, but I would say you can execute pre-based workflows. But what I wanted to show you here is more important, and we're kind of going into the AI direction. So in order to empower all these workflows and to give them extra abilities and to make them even more fun, we are hooking up everything to AI agents. And those AI agents have additional access to a variety of MCP servers that I will show you later on the list. So for example, if I hook all of this into an AI agent, I can easily access all the previous information, for example, the one that I got from the event, and I can use it with a prompt based on this value, produce a report on the whole agent execution. So it would use all the data that it needs, and it would provide an output here. And then I can also send all of this to my Telegram or I can also send it to both Telegram and email. So it's quite easy, as you can see, with using drag and drop. I don't have to know any code or anything like that. I just drag and drop things here. And just to go through all of the other stuff here, briefly, the most common case, and this is what you would usually ask me is, or what people usually ask is, what is the most common case? Usually people use the K3 platform to create monitoring agents, to monitor their smart contracts, to monitor events on the chain, and then execute certain actions as receiving notification, or executing a trade. This is why we have a plethora of trading functions here. And this comes more from a demand of our current users. So a lot of them monitor on-chain events and then execute specific trades. Like, for example, somebody deposits a liquidity in a specific new pool, and you want to buy right away, or you want to arbitrage opportunities between Hyperliquid and Uniswap, or some other way. And to kind of summarize all of this, you can see all your workflows, all your created workflows and running workflows in a nice dashboard. You can go into any of the workflows, get even remote executions through it, all the runs and the logs that were done through those runs. And on the integration side, you can bring a lot of your existing services. For example, you can connect your Coinbase account, you can configure your Telegram, you can bring your safe wallet even, and even your own private or public models. And you can pick, now what we added recently is 400 MCP connections. So your AI agent can access any of those 400 connections to further enrich the data that you're receiving through your agent from the blockchain. So for example, if you wanted to read some on-chain event and then interact with Alchemy, or read data from Alchemy and then interact with the blockchain, this would be possible with this integration by just clicking connect, adding your API keys, and adding it to the AI agent. So that's kind of a short demo of what the platform can do, and I can talk more about our intents for the Cardano.
That was extremely impressive. I think for me, seeing first off how quickly you were able to create a workflow for an agent, but then second off, the amount of options that you have to connect to is massive. So you're right. Let's talk a little bit more about Cardano now, Ivan. So, you guys are coming into the community. We have Project Catalyst going on. What will this do in terms of opening up doors for the Cardano ecosystem? And exactly how are you planning to integrate Cardano and Cardano specific APIs into the K3 platform?
Yeah. So as you can see from those read and write blockchain components, those are the first ones that we will tackle. So currently they are focusing on Ethereum and EVM-based chains. So for Cardano, we are going to do the same thing. So we will allow people to actually read the Cardano chain by just placing a smart contract address into the input fields, and you will be able to get all the methods, and the same thing will happen for write. And then obviously we will integrate the wallets needed to process those transactions. It's already supported by the Cubist integration. It just requires a bit of a configuration. But most importantly, there will be other DeFi options available from the Cardano ecosystem. Most importantly, all the top exchanges, so that people can actually execute timed trades or based on a condition. And then as a final, I think, addition, and the most important one, is we will also wrap all of this as a usage through our AI agents, so that people can actually do all of that. And then by those wrappers, we will also create, like I showed in the start, on that marketplace that we are soon launching, is that you will have Cardano specific agents that people can just go in, pick and use. So that you don't have to go into the design and create your own workflows and agents every time, but you can just use Cardano specific ones already. So I think all of this is quite a lot of work, but we are always happy to work with new and exciting chains and try to kind of solve all their, not all, but important pain points to make their lives easier.
Well said. And I think this is massive for interoperability, at least with other networks, and making it easy for anybody that may not necessarily actually have a Cardano wallet, right? Giving them the ability to at least get data from our network. And so, again, I think from an
Correct.
exposure and interoperability perspective, a proposal like this is very, very massive. So I have to ask a little bit about the specifics here. How much ADA are you actually requesting, and how long will this take to implement here, this integration with Cardano?
Mhm. We have two projects, like you mentioned, two proposals that we have submitted. I think each one is 100,000 ADA tokens. Um, the the first one is a bit shorter. I think the first one is 4 months in order to deliver, and the second one is 5. We can tackle both of them at the same time, and then we kind of have a delivery within 5 months. Most importantly, those are not only technical milestones. So obviously, there's a lot of work to do on the technical side to implement these, to have access to the nodes and so on. But what we think is really important also is to do the marketing part and approach to the community, because there's a lot of um, blockchains and ecosystem that are just for techies. So they build some sort of an SDK, or they build a smart contract or a solution, and they're like, okay, we've built this. They deploy it, and they're like, okay, now people will come and use it in some sort of a magical way. No, this doesn't work like this in the real world. So as a CTO, I'm aware that technical implementation is important, but more important is the business case behind it. So we have to also do the marketing part, and we want to, and we will work together with the Cardano Foundation to market this properly and get it into hands of people and into users.
Perfect. So as we get ready to wind things down, I'd love to give you an opportunity to talk about anything that, maybe I didn't ask about, or something that you think is really important for the community to know and understand about K3, your solution or your proposal.
Yeah, I think what you've seen so far, as you said, I'll take your words. It's quite impressive, easy to use. Um, but what we are building next is going to be even better. So what we've seen so far is that drag and dropping things into the builder is quite easy, but still it requires a learning curve. So people need to learn which are the components that they have at their disposal, what do they have to pick on the right side, and so on. But so there is a bit of a friction there. In order to solve that friction, we are going to introduce a completely agentic approach to generating new agents. So we will have the center point of the entire platform is going to be a prompt-based chatbot with which you can just chat, and it will create and build the agents on the other side. So you will be able to say, hey, I want to buy a certain token on Cardano, or I want to interact with a DeFi protocol on Cardano, and it would either propose a agent that already exists, so you can just click and start it if it fits that requirement that you've just specified, or it will just create a completely new one and generate a solution for you. In this way, we think it's going to kind of close on that remaining 10% of the learning curve that we have here, and really allow people to just work with the blockchain.
Thank you, Ivan. For anyone who wants to get in contact with you or the rest of the K3 team, how can they do that?
Yeah, you can just do it at K3_labs on Twitter, or my own name if you want to reach out to me personally, Ivan Reif, with an underscore in between, on Twitter and Telegram.
Perfect. Thank you so much here for your time, Ivan. I've enjoyed
Thank you
this.
too.
And again, I wish you guys nothing but the best. And I'm in support of integrations like these because, again, I think from an interoperability perspective, it is massive to get the Cardano data out there. And maybe once people see that, right, they might be more inclined to actually come in and interact with the ecosystem itself. And so I'm very, very happy to be able to share this and what you guys are doing with the Cardano community and wish you nothing but, again, the best here with this particular project catalyst funding around. That will do it
Thank
here
you.
for today's anytime. That will do it here for today's video here. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching from or tuning in from, if you've enjoyed this type of update, bringing you guys all of the cutting edge tech here being proposed for Project Catalyst, please smash that thumbs up on the way out. It is by far one of the easiest ways to show your support here on the channel. If you want more content just like this, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you have any questions or comments for me or Ivan, feel free to sound off down below as a part of the comment section. That's it. And as always, we'll see you all in the next video. Cheers, everybody. Take care.